ZeldaLF. Have fun with them. Ooh, that's loud.
All right, we're live.
Yes.
All right, hello everybody. So I'm Hornlets, and
I'm LegendofzeldaLF.
and yeah, so this will be Phantom Hourglass. So actually, I guess if you want to get started with it, we can explain.
Do we have a file name?
Oh, right, file name.
The file name actually is, don't let me lie. The file name actually is Shelf Boy.
Shelf?
Shelf Boy.
Did I get it right?
Let me see.
SHELFBOY.
Yeah, just a B and big, but it's not that's important.
Okay.
Okay then, you ready for the countdown? Just give a countdown then.
Alright. Alright then, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so basically in the beginning, luckily we can skip these cutscenes. Basically these cutscenes are kind of just the basic story at the beginning.
Real quick, before we actually fully get into the run, I want to explain, right before he started the run, he switched actually the text speed to fast, because, I mean, obviously that makes the text go faster, and so it saves a little bit of time. Ultimately, in this game, it doesn't actually matter that much, because you can advance text really fast anyways, but it makes a tiny bit of a difference.
Yeah. And also another thing is I need to count my rolls too, because if I go over 3 rolls in a row, then I'll actually get dizzy and I'll lose, I think it's 3 seconds.
Like 2 to 3, yeah. Yeah, so that's one big thing about running Phantom Hourglass, is that you really have to count your rolls, and just everywhere, pretty much. And the other weird thing about it is that your roll counter is actually preserved through loading zones, and so you can't just reset it after a loading zone, which I know messed me up a lot when I first started running this.
Yeah, it did sort of mess me up, or sometimes I'll roll right into an enemy, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot that it doesn't do that. Like, it doesn't reset it when you get hit by an enemy.
Yeah, there's two. But yeah, so right off the bat, you already got the sword. Had to do a small little puzzle, but the puzzle solution is always the same. It's always just the number 7.
Luckily. To be honest, I don't know what we would do if it wasn't. I think we'd have to literally go down there and just quickly count them all in our head.
Yeah, just guess.
Yeah, or guess. That would be.
Oh yeah, so that's another thing that we should bring up. So this is not the any percent category. This is basically half of the any percent category. This is called Ghost Ship RTA, which basically the goal of the game, or the goal of this category, is just to go and beat the ghost ship. So it's sort of like, we'll pretend that once you go to the ghost ship and rescue Tetra from there, that's the end of the game. And so it's basically just a shorter version of the game, I guess, because the any percent category is like 3.5 hours long if you're relatively good, and so some people don't like doing categories that long, and so it's just a shorter category, and it's also a lot less luck dependent, I guess, because there are some things in the end game that are pretty luck dependent, like final boss. But yeah, so that's basically what the category is.
Yeah. The main reason why I do Ghost Ship RTA is because I actually don't have enough game time to do the full 80%, which I was kind of bummed, but I'm glad that this has become a category, because I really like speedrunning this game.
It's a really fun game to speedrun, honestly.
It's a lot more fun than category, in my opinion.
So, I guess this probably already passed a little bit, but this rat that had the key, in order to block it, normally you're supposed to fully block the hole so that it only can come out of one, and then you can sort of trap it. But you can actually just kind of move it in the path of where the rat would normally go, and then it will stop anyways and turn around, and you'll be able to trap it anyways, even though the hole is still open.
Yeah. You can also throw a pot at it, but that's
Oh yeah, that's a risky strat. I don't even go for that really in any runs.
I've done it like once, I think, in a run. But no more than once.
Right, so at this point, the plot of the game, we're kind of just wandering around. We need to find Lineback so that we can get his ship so that we can actually go off to the first dungeon of the game. And so we just have to keep kind of talking to people in order to find out where he is, and then we get to go to the Temple of the Ocean King where Lineback actually is.
Yeah, and at first, I can't remember what the fairy's name is, but she thinks that the bones in the front are him.
Yeah, the fairy's name is Sela, I think it was.
I don't know. I can't remember all their names. There's a lot of them in this series.
I don't remember the other fairies' names. It's just Sela that I can remember.
I remember Navi and Tattle.
Well, yeah, they're those ones. Fortunately, they're not in this game, but... I guess one other thing that I should go over real quick is language differences. So right here, you're playing on, I'm guessing, English Wii U Virtual Console?
Yep.
Yeah, so actually, the Japanese version is, for any percent, it is actually like 2 to 2.5 minutes faster. But because this is only kind of like half the any percent category, the main Japanese time saver, which is like right at the end of the game, of course, we don't do that part, and so as a result, this English and Japanese are roughly the same. Actually, I think they're like almost the same, but
I didn't know there was much of a difference in text language. Other than that,
the text has nothing to do with it, actually. But yeah, and then also another thing is that Wii U Virtual Console is a much faster version than the original DS version, because loading zones are ridiculously fast in the Wii U version. Like, I think I timed it out, and like each one is exactly 1 second, like 30 frames faster.
Wow.
Or whatever. It's ridiculous.
I'm gonna go for a safety arc.
Yeah, you're not gonna make that.
I can never time my hearts correctly there.
So I guess that's one thing. So the sort of gimmick of Temple of the Ocean King, at least for the start here, is that you're taking damage all the time while you're in here, and so you kind of have to plan out your health a little bit. And so because he messed up a little bit, he had to wait a bit for some spike cycles, and then he got damaged a little bit too much, and so he had to grab an extra heart there.
Oh, I died.
Yeah, so that is an intentional death. It just ends up saving a little bit of time there, just instead of walking out.
Didn't we first think that save warping was faster?
I'm not quite sure. It doesn't surprise me. I think I remember something about that too, actually. Yeah.
Also, you'll notice I'm slashing before I jump off these the ledges. That's because Link will decide to do a jump if you're just running straight off of it. But if you slash before you jump off, he just falls right down.
And if you do it at like the right timing, you can get like a big if you do a stab forward or whatever, it'll like preserve your speed a little more, and so you get like a bit of a boost almost. So pretty much anytime you jump off, you really wanna like be slashing off or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And then for this map thing, you basically, what you just have to do is you just have to scratch over that little the island over there. That's basically just to show you where the first temple is, or where the spot where you need to go.
I'm still not exactly sure how it works, like if you need a certain percentage of the orange stuff cleared, or...
I was wondering that too. Because I see other people doing other things.
Ooh, that was a good line.
I know that was actually really good. I'm
So, yeah,
really bad
that's-
at drawing lines.
Yeah, so one of the big time savers that you can get or like one of the biggest like ways that you can save time overall in the run is just drawing really straight lines or like really direct lines while sailing, because that really because sailing is relatively slow, and so if you have any amount of detour, it's gonna amplify the amount of time loss, and so a really straight line is always gonna save a bunch of time. And then also right here, the jumping is not just for show; it actually is faster. As annoying as it may sound, but I don't remember what the exact time save on it is.
One
but
frame
it's
each jump.
1 frame each jump. Okay, yeah. So that does sound familiar.
Wait,
So yeah,
wait.
it's like
So we have to go through this ugly boat jump audio effect, sound effect, for 1 frame each.
sounds about right.
At least you don't have to worry about any percent. That'd be another long one.
90% is like 3 hours of loud, loud jumping noises. No, it's not too bad, honestly. I mean, you can turn it down if you're running
that
it.
bad.
So right here, he's talking to Astrid right now, who's like the, I don't know, guardian of this island. I don't actually know what the deal is, but she's just some important person on the island. And basically, the thing about Astrid is that, in order to like get her attention, you actually need to blow into the microphone, or technically call out into the microphone, but the microphone's not that great, so you can just blow into it. And that sort of brings up the point that Phantom Hourglass was like designed to use all of the functions of the DS, and it uses them a lot. Like pretty much any function of the DS that you can think of, it probably uses it, except maybe the power.
That'd be funny.
But yeah, it's really cool that it does that. Unfortunately, it's not quite as bad as Spirit Tracks, where like it's like you have to use the microphone 100% of the time, pretty much.
Do we know how bad it is on Wii U compared to like the DS or the 3DS?
How bad what is? Like
the microphone. I thought I heard people.
It's definitely worse. Having done like a little bit of like testing, I guess myself, it's like I don't know. It's 3DS and Wii U both have pretty bad microphones, but I think Wii U is slightly worse. Yeah.
Also, the puzzle for that the little map, that's always the same. You basically, I needed to go talk to that dead guy to figure out, or he like sets a flag that makes it so that we can actually stamp those on. Because if you try to do it before then, you actually can't even stamp it on at all.
Come to think of it, I don't think I ever even tried that.
I've accidentally done it a couple times.
Alright, so with that, done talking to Astrid, we can finally head off to the first dungeon, which will be the Fire Temple.
And you can die really fast in that dungeon.
Oh yeah, Fire Temple is actually one of like the hardest parts of the entire run. Because like you only have 3 hearts at this point, and there's just a lot of stuff that can damage you. I would personally say Courage Temple is a little harder, but I've still lost a fair number of runs to Fire Temple as I die. There is a bunch of health at least, though.
Yeah, especially if you know where to find them.
Yeah.
Okay, so then after you're done blowing the little candles there, if you can slash and it skips like the animation of him like bending down and blowing on them.
Just saves a little bit of time each time, but there are a few candles throughout the run, so it's definitely worth it.
I think the only candles in this one are actually only in Fire Temple.
that might be true, actually. Yeah, I can't remember. I remember there being more, but I guess
There might be more like in any percent, but not for
that I think about it.
Ghost Ship RTA.
So each dungeon is gonna have, like, you just saw the keys fight there. Each dungeon has a lot of those where it's just like a fight with random enemies, and you just kind of have to take care of them as fast as you can. And there's some interesting strats, but a lot of the times it's just there's a lot of luck involved because just the enemy movement is random.
Yeah. For that one, you go into like the bottom right, and then I usually just spin attack, and then the remaining ones I just attack myself.
Yeah. Also, those 4 switches that he just did the spin attack on, they're really finicky. Like, sometimes they just won't work. Like, you'll do a spin attack and they'll all light up, but they'll like flicker on and off a little bit, and then it won't work. Right there, there's also a little time saver that's you can do where you throw the pot onto the switch from the previous room. You just bring it in and then throw it on, and I think it saves probably like 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, it doesn't save that much from what I know of, but I mean, it's still a time saver. And now that we have the boomerang, basically what the boomerang does is you can either press the boomerang itself or left and right, and then it'll let you use the boomerang. And by using the boomerang, you have to like draw on the actual screen itself. So it can be a little bit hard. But,
well, and plus the boomerang, like the hitbox for the boomerang is like ridiculously large. And so, like, it's so easy to hit walls and whatnot.
yeah, it really is sometimes.
Like, it's not so much a big deal in the Fire Temple here, but I know there's at least one that I can think of in the Ghost Ship that's like a really precise boomerang just because of the hitbox.
Oh, yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
That one is... Yeah, it's hard. Okay.
So yeah, this room here. Yeah, this room here, I was about to say, is like... You usually lose quite a bit of health here. Just because it's faster to obviously damage boost through the flame jet things. And also the keys are just random, so... Oh, the key didn't...
Yeah, I missed the key. Not by very much. So basically for this little puzzle, you can draw the boomerang... I didn't get it for some reason. You can draw the boomerang to hit that switch, and then you can draw it backwards, and then you can use it to draw it again. And then it'll hit it, and then it'll hit it again. But recently I haven't been able to get it like consistently.
I'm not quite sure. Like it's a little finicky. I think those like colored switches have a little bit of like a timer. Like once you actually hit it once, you have to wait like 2 or 3 seconds or something before you can hit it again. Or at least with the boomerang or something. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, it's a little finicky.
I would say it's something like that.
Here we got another.
That puzzle is always the same too. And then we draw a line up to where the key would normally be, so then you would just grab the key as we're going down.
And a lot of these puzzles, like normally you would find the solution just at some random other point in the dungeon. So for instance, that puzzle, just at like the bottom of this room that he's in right now, there's like this little sign that you can look at and it just tells you what the solution is.
Getting keys, like the fire keys with the boomerang is actually pretty difficult.
But yeah, this fight is silly. It's not easy to do fast. Like usually you can get 1 keys because they always like spawn in the same spot, and so you can kind of just right as you come in kill the first keys, but then the second one's kind of just
yeah.
Hope you hit it.
I was surprised that worked. So now with the boss key, it's faster to pick it up and throw it because it slows you down a ton when you're carrying it. So basically the fastest thing to do is to throw it, roll, and then grab it, and then just keep doing that. Do you know why it doesn't give you dizzy? Is it because it's just such a long distance?
I think it's just the time, the amount of time it takes to actually do that. Like, it's just barely fast. Like, or it's just barely like you're not rolling fast enough for it to dizzy. Basically, I think is how it's supposed to work.
All right,
I might not be. That might not be, but. Yeah, that's also another interesting thing about this game is that like the boss keys, you actually carry them instead of just like picking them up and then going on as like any other Zelda game would be.
This is Blaze. There's a couple of different ways you can defeat him. You can, or at first you have to on the map. You'll notice they'll have different kinds of horns. One will have 1, one will have 2, and one will have 3. You're trying to get them. You're trying to get the first one, then the second one, then the third one. But there's sometimes when you're drawing your line it'll actually grab the other ones, and then you want to get close to it and basically spin attack. So then it'll attack it twice for some reason.
Yeah, that's one thing about
facing forward towards it.
One thing about the spin attack is that just depending on like the angle you're at when you start it and just like kind of how you do it, you can pretty consistently hit things twice with one spin attack, and it's actually not that hard to do. But yeah, it's really useful.
Yeah, that was a decent fire temple, in my opinion. So basically now we're gonna want to go talk to Astrid again.
Also, grabbing the heart container at the end of the dungeon there is technically slower, but because, as I mentioned before, that we actually, or like in the dungeon, that they're like, you have low health and so it's easy to die. It is a safety strat, but also just Courage Temple, which is the third dungeon of the game, is like, there are a lot of damage boosts or like damage strats that you can do that save little bits of time, and so getting the health is actually like, it actually ends up saving time at the end.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we're going back to, is it Murkay Island?
Murkay Island, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because now we're actually gonna go through the Temple of the Ocean King, like through actual levels.
Also, drawing that line is really, really annoying because Beetle is like right there. Like, he's like just off to the side from where you need to draw your line, but like certain like landmarks or whatever will like it'll like draw your line in a little bit more. Like if you pass by it enough, it'll like snap to the ship or whatever, and so it's really easy to target Beetle there.
Oh yeah, it really is. I think last night was the only time that I didn't actually tap him or go way out of my way. So basically now we're just going up the normal way, the way that we went up last time.
Yeah, and so the big sort of gimmick about this game is that you have to keep revisiting the Temple of the Ocean King a bunch of times, and a lot of people didn't seem to like that casually. Personally, Temple of the Ocean King is my favorite dungeon, just because there's a lot of cool like changes. Because like you do have to keep redoing floors, but like there are different ways to do the floors when you get more items, and they really thought it through nicely. I don't know. I personally really like it.
I loved it, but I mostly liked the tower from Spirit Tracks personally.
See, I didn't like that one very much. That one was like too complicated, even though you didn't have to read floors.
There was the one part in Spirit Tracks where I got really, really stuck on the tower. So then we had to we printed out a huge like book. It was like a strategy book. And then I found out it was actually really easy. So.
Pretty much, yeah.
Alright, so now that we have the Phantom Hourglass, basically that lets us so that we don't just keep losing health outside of the safe zones. And I don't know how much you get every time you defeat a boss, but I think it's like 3 to 2 minutes.
I think it's
I
2
don't
minutes. It's 2 minutes for each boss, and then you get digging up certain treasure charts gets you another 1 minute. Pretty sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So yeah, here we get the introduction to phantoms. Phantoms are kind of annoying. If you get hit by a phantom, it sends you back to the beginning of the room, which actually you can abuse that in this room to save a bunch of time. But yeah, they're a little annoying. If you kind of walk in front of them, they're sort of like guards in literally any game ever, where if you walk in front of them, they'll see you and then they'll start chasing you. So there are some really cool strats that we can use though to sort of get around the guards basically.
In the beginning, like right after we're done lighting those torches, we actually want to get caught because we want to bring these guys up here. Up more towards the key. So then we can actually get hit after we're done getting the key. How much time does it save actually getting hit by these phantoms?
I'm not the best one to ask for timings, but I'm pretty sure it's like a fair amount.
Yeah, that's
like probably a good 10 seconds at least. Yes.
Alright, so in this room we'll actually be seeing our first actual glitch, if you can even really consider it that. So basically, if you throw the boomerang in a line, and then when it comes to come back, it actually won't have a hitbox, so it can go through walls. So we can manipulate that to grab this key without having to go through, going through the rest of the room. And there's actually 2 instances where we can use it in this, in Temple of the Ocean King.
It's a really cool trick. I wish it had more uses, but it's...
I also wish I had more, but
yeah.
Nope.
I mean, it technically, I don't know if I would necessarily say it counts as a glitch, but like it's just I guess a bit of an oversight. Because like they wanted it so that when it's coming back to you, it can still like pick up rupees or whatever, but it can still pick up keys through walls. So yeah.
So basically, this entire room is based on cycles. So I'm trying to make every cycle I can, which is decently easy. But like, if I were to get caught, then that'd be really bad.
Fortunately, this floor, at least in this category, is never too bad. But the last time you go through this floor in the full any % category, they changed the type of phantoms here to like swift phantoms, I think they're called, where they go really fast, and it messes up the cycles entirely, and you have to do something completely different, and it's really annoying.
Oh, I didn't know that. At least I don't remember doing that.
And also on this floor, so similar to how the boss keys work, it's faster to just throw these Triforce pieces, or Force gems, I think they're called. Yeah, something like that. And it's faster to do that, but of course, because there are more of them, it's also faster to kind of like juggle them and like throw, you know, all 3 or 2 of them at the same time, and then kind of move along with them. And there's also some clever planning around the phantom cycles with that as well. So it's pretty cool.
So yeah, basically you just gotta throw all those on. I don't even know what those things are called. They're like the Triforce or the Force Gem holders that somehow they land perfectly on.
I mean, Link's just really good at throwing.
Alright, so now we got the northwest chart. This is the last chart we actually need inside here, but we will come back to this, to the Temple of the Ocean King. So actually, those 2 loading zones for the Temple of the Ocean King are the only times where if you're rolling, it won't like restore how many rolls you have. So like if I were to do 3 rolls and then I were to roll the 4th time in there, normally I would get dizzy once I come back out, but it actually doesn't do that for those 2 loading zones inside the Temple of the Ocean King for some reason.
Yeah, it's like just those 2, and I have no idea why.
Alright, so for that puzzle, you just gotta blow all the dust off. Yeah. I don't exactly know anything else really to say to that. You just blow it all off, and then it reveals the next place, the next dungeon we have to go to.
If you do it in one breath, then that's tough.
So then now we're going to Cannon Island. In Cannon Island, you can die really fast in this island. At least I personally die a lot on this game or on this island.
Yeah, I've died a few times myself. It is easy to die, especially if you're going into it with low health.
Yeah, especially if you're going with health.
Yeah, it's got like a bunch of Octoroks or something on it, and
It has Octoroks and rats.
Oh right, the rats. The rats are the big problems. I forgot.
And this is the last time we'll see this Postman guy, so bye Postman guy. See ya.
I don't know, I like this Postman guy.
It's weird how he has wings. I wonder if he's even human.
Maybe he's like the missing link between the I don't know, the Zoras and the Rito or something. I don't know.
He must be, otherwise he wouldn't be able to fly. So, fortunately for me, I actually have a lot of help coming in here for once. I usually never have a lot of help coming in here.
So one thing about bombs, which you've already seen, is that stabbing them makes them blow up. And unlike a lot of Zelda games, in this one you can actually like stab them and not get damaged, which is pretty nice. It definitely makes it a lot easier to not die.
It really does.
And this last outdoor section is just annoying because of the rats.
So basically now we needed to take that bomb to blow up that, and in this tree there's a 200 ruby, or there's a big red ruby which is 200 rubies. If that falls, oh I died. If that falls into the river or the ocean, you actually can't get that back. And I've actually seen a couple of runs, other people's runs die to that.
Oh yeah, it's happened before. It's if you roll into the tree the same way every time, you'll never.
Yeah, I usually always roll into it onto the right side.
Yeah, if you roll into it from the right, it always falls out on the left, and so rolling into it on the left will cause it to fall in the water.
And we're gonna have a lot of rubies in this game, because for some reason I usually get a lot of rubies. A lot of rubies, even if I don't get like the safety 100 that you'll see up ahead. I usually like last night I ended up with 200 extra.
Oh, nice. I do want to mention just a random cool fact, I guess. the bombs in this game actually have like 2 separate damage radiuses or whatever. Like, basically, if you're like a little bit far away, or kind of far away from the bomb, but still close enough to get hit by it, you only get half a heart of damage. But if you're right next to the bomb, it does a full heart. I was just reminded with that death earlier.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it until like I was really confused about it, so I went and tested it. And that's what it is. At least that's what it seems like.
So I didn't get those green spike guys. I wonder why.
Which green? Oh, those things. What?
Yeah, I just noticed that. I didn't get
Huh.
them.
Yeah, that's weird. Normally there's like one of those things that you gotta hop over. Hold on. Is that like faster for any percent?
I have no idea.
That might. I don't know, because like when they pop up, like you actually sort of stop and like Sela talks to you for a second, or not Sela, Linebeck actually, I think, talks to you about like what to do sort of for a second. So it might actually be faster to just kind of draw the line over that. Huh.
I didn't know that. New marathon strats.
Actually, now that I think about it, you'd probably run. Yeah, you'd run into it anyways. When you have to get the sun key.
Yeah, you probably
So
will.
you'll probably get text there anyways. Clearly, we just have to find sun key early.
I know, right? We really need someone to find that. That would make running this game a lot better, in my opinion. Unless it's like it's really, really difficult.
So one thing about this little fog area, so just like kind of like the Lost Woods, or, well, yeah, the Lost Woods in any Zelda game. If you go the wrong way, you kind of get like sent back to the beginning. And we actually want to get sent back to the beginning as fast as we can, and the fastest way to do that is to actually come up and over around these rocks. Because normally you're supposed to like follow the ghost ship like straight up, and it takes a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can just like go a little bit to the right of those rocks up there, and then you just get teleported back.
So yeah, unfortunately there isn't really a way to skip that little sequence with the ghost ship though, because normally it would be like way faster to just come down here to Molita Islands and do what we need to do there, because right after that we need to go up north where we just were anyways.
Yeah.
But no, the game forces you to go up there to go chase the ghost ship for a bit.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, I forgot. I didn't draw all the way down. I was wondering why I just stopped there. And then you want to hit no for what Linebeck says, because he's basically telling you, "Hey, I don't like this island. Let's just leave." So if you hit yes, you'll actually start sailing away again. And I've done that a couple times.
Oh yeah, I've done that too. It wastes like 20 seconds or something. It's stupid.
And then there's this guy who we have to talk to, and then he like yells back at us right as we're about to leave. And there'll actually be sometimes when I'll just forget about that. You have to roll back, and I'll just be out there, keep trying to go up to the cave, and it just like it won't work. I'm like, what's wrong? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. You have to do that. So I finally killed that keys. That keys can be really annoying on those jumps.
Yeah, it's really easy to die here as well. Just because the keys can hit you for half a heart, and then you fall into the water, which loses another half heart, and then
It starts adding up really quick. So basically, you can throw the boomerang so that right when that I don't know what that is. It's like a Zora.
I forget what they're
Zora
called.
warrior.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Yeah, this Zora warrior he'll be trying to come up to attack you, and basically what you have to do is you normally have to throw it behind him, but you can just throw it before he even jumps up, but then he just gets stunned automatically.
There's actually a bunch of fights that you do like that, where you like throw the boomerang before you or actually not even just the boomerang, but like you throw or like do something like throw a bomb or bow and arrow or whatever before the fight even starts, and then once the fight starts, it like does something right after that.
So now we got the shovel, and basically I got that 100 rubies. That's kind of just for safety reasons. But basically what you normally would do there is there's a chart, I think it's on the wall where the shovel actually is it shows you the way, but we can just memorize the way through the fog. And you can't do the fog before going there, because I think it like sets a flag or something.
It's actually in the true secret hideouts. You're supposed to, I don't know, solve some puzzle where you like connect a few lines, and where these lines cross, there's a dig spot, and you can dig there and then fall down into this like secret cave, and that's where the solution to this Lost Woods puzzle is.
Mm-hmm. Also, that line was meant to be going more towards the right. I noticed someone said wow though.
That's another thing, is that you don't even need to bother checking the sign that tells you the way, because it's always the same. Well, it's a bit of a convoluted route, I don't know why, but...
Yeah, I have no idea why it's this squiggly line.
And this segment is like so hard to do optimally, because like you're trying to draw fast so that you don't lose time to drawing, but then of course you want to draw a line that isn't going to make you stop at all, and it's because if you take too sharp of a turn while you're sailing, you'll actually like stop and you'll have to like start accelerating again. And so trying to actually avoid that here is really difficult. I don't think I've ever done it.
Yeah, it is really hard. And also the enemies appear so often.
Oh yeah, there are a ton of enemies in this section.
I think right there, yeah, that's a hard turn. Which means we should have another one.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's actually like completely true, but whenever I'm doing runs and like I have to do a hard turn or whatever, I stop jumping, because if you're not moving, jumping barely does anything, and I don't actually think it saves time as a result. But I haven't done any like testing on that, I'm not sure. But it just feels slower to jump when you're going super slow while turning.
That one was a close one.
But yeah, those guys can kind of just like pop out of nowhere and just ruin your day. Now right here, also depending on like, I think it's a little bit random, but also depending on how good your lines were and everything, it is actually possible to get interrupted by Beetle here. Beetle right here is like way up there, which can happen, but sometimes he's like way lower down, and you can like cross paths with him. And if you get near a boat, it like you start trying to board it, and it like asks you, and it like slows you down and stops you, or I think it stops you. And it's just, it wastes time. I actually lost a run to encountering Beetle once. Or did I? I'm not sure if I lost the run or if I did end up PBing with it, but it was like I lost a lot of time because of it.
I've actually never gotten that Beetle up there, probably because I'm slower with lines.
Well, yeah, I usually try to like really rush lines, and so sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't.
Alright, so basically this island, I don't actually remember what it's called. To be honest, I don't know like a lot of the island names.
It's the Isle of...
But basically, it's trying to blow you to the left. So basically, when it's blowing, you just want to try to run. You don't want to you don't actually want to roll because it'll shoot you back a little bit.
Yeah, rolling. And
yeah, I did roll a couple times.
it's a little hard to tell.
Or-
When it's blow like it is on a cycle, but it's...
Or you can with it you can like jump over huge gaps, which yeah there are intended, but you can do that. You can also use it to your advantage to get a lot of speed. For some reason I've been doing that a lot recently. I like to dig up the spot that we're supposed to go for some reason. So now we're just trying to avoid these worm things. I don't actually know what they're called.
I don't know. Big disgusting worm things. Yeah, they just... As soon as you kind of get near them, they start coming towards you, and they try and eat you, and it's annoying.
It is really annoying.
Fortunately, they're always in the same spots, so it is like consistent to be able to skip them, but even then it's like it's hard.
It is really hard. Grr, I've gotten eaten like 3 different times, I think.
Yeah, also for this section there are 3 different like of the... I don't even know what to call them, fan things. You have to blow on them and they'll start spinning. But they're like, I don't know what 7, 8 of them. So yeah, this is another like puzzle thing. Like, the solution's always the same.
Oh yeah. I think that they are called levers, but
Are they? They might be.
I don't know. They're a lot like levers.
It's true, yeah.
So basically, you can touch that doorway over there while you wait for the cycle. Saves a little bit of time. Oh, okay. So basically, now I need to throw a bomb over to those other bomb plants, and basically something that I discovered is you can throw your boomerang at them to explode them all, but it hasn't really been working out too well here.
I think the best, I found it's better to actually like throw the bomb to the side a little bit, like not like directly in the middle. For some reason that works better.
Oh, alright.
Or just let the bomb explode itself, but...
And I actually didn't know this until like last night, but you can throw your boomerang directly at that orb, and it turns them both off. I used to roll the block all the way to the other one. Silly for me.
So guys, I was wondering, since there is no spirit track in the schedule, right?
Correct.
There is a severe lack of train jokes in this marathon. And
Oh boy.
since Phantom Hourglass is like close enough to spirit tracks, what's your best train joke?
I wasn't prepared for this.
I also wasn't prepared for this. I don't know. I wasn't actually really able to attend last year's 90%. Can you tell some jokes? We'll choose which ones.
Jesus shit.
You weren't prepared for that.
So, I mean,
What do trains do? They choo choo. That's fun. Oh boy,
you guys should have trained before this, before for this situation. Oh my.
See, chat's got the train puns down.
They do. Boat.
What kind of a car does a crazy man drive?
What?
A locomotive.
Goodness. Hold on, I can look some up.
All right. Let's see. So basically, now you need to dig up all these wind. I don't know, these geysers that blow out wind instead of water for some reason. And they're always in the same place, so you can just memorize them. Y'all need to be more locomotive. You broke the chat, Trez.
I broke the chat. I don't care.
It was worth it for the train puns.
We need better ones.
If only we had some
yeah.
like
Enough with
steamboat jokes.
enough with the train jokes. Get back on track.
Hey, this was your fault.
I know, I like that one. So basically now we're trying to just blow those, I don't even know, those little blowers to blow the wind, or the fan things that we were talking about. So we can go down here and get, or we can get the key, which we can use the key to get the bombs.
Seriously, why did Trez have to come in here and derail our train of thought?
Sorry, no boat puns, I've run out of steam.
There we go, that's a steamboat pun.
There we go. Somebody. I see chat has no boat puns today. What does Ash say to Pikachu? I choose you.
Oh my god. So guys, there is this Reddit thread about the ZSR. God.
Alright, so now we're going to, I think it's, I don't know, it's something Cyclone. That's all. He's a decently easy boss because bombs.
Yeah, it's not too hard, but he is kind of random. For a while I thought that I had a consistent strat, but then it wasn't, and I kind of just have to... The first hits are usually pretty consistent.
Oh yeah.
But the second one, it's like kind of hard, and sometimes you get screwed over by luck. But yeah, the strat here is just to kind of bomb him down and then throw 6 bombs at him, which is a lot, but it does a ton of damage. and then at the end you just throw, I think it's 4 more, yeah, and then he's dead. So yeah, it uses a lot of bombs, but it's a pretty fast fight.
Oh yeah. This chat is very funny right now.
Very.
I got some safety bombs over there for no apparent reason. So now we get to go back to Temple of the Ocean King. That's always fun, right, guys?
It is. I don't know what you're talking about. Why the sarcasm?
We are all on the same boat, I guess.
Do you not do that in this category?
What?
Do you not?
No, we
Get
don't.
the Cyclone Slate? Interesting. Okay, well there's something to talk about. So normally in the any percent run, what you would do is right after the dungeon that you just finished, you would actually go up, discover this like new island or whatever that has the Cyclone Slate in it. And what that does is there are 6 golden frogs around the world that you can hit with, or once you hit them with the cannon, you can basically warp to that location. But yeah, I was actually thinking about this earlier. There's actually only 1 warp that you would use in the first half of the run, and so I guess it's not worth it.
Yeah,
actually,
it
really
saves
makes
like 3 to 5 minutes, somewhere along that line.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's like 3.
It would. Yeah, because in any percent it saves a lot of time, because in the second half we have to warp quite a few times. But yeah, no, not in this one. And here I was thinking that this category was just the first half of any percent, no differences. Interesting.
The only difference between here and now in the Ocean King is we have bombs, so the first level will go by really fast.
The first level's yeah, it's got basically a shortcut.
I'll blink, or I won't blink them if you guys won't blink. Now the second, or the basement 2 is the exact same. I actually don't know if you would consider this a port.
Yeah, I don't know either technically, but for the joke it works.
Does emulator count as a port? I have no idea.
I think technically no.
Do they even allow actual emulator runs? Emulator boards?
For Phantom Hourglass?
Yeah.
Good luck trying to finish a run of this on emulator. I don't think the microphone works very well. And if you can get it to work, I mean, there are certain other puzzles that don't work. I don't know. It's
very bad.
I don't know why you would bother doing that. I guess it's easier to record.
I got caught there, but that's fine because this one now I can just bring this this Triforce or the Force gem pretty far up now, because that guy, he ran all the way over to the other side of the room.
Yeah, so this is being played on the Wii U Virtual Console. And if you missed it, I might as well bring it up again. I said it at the beginning of the run, but the Wii U Virtual Console version is actually much faster than the DS version. Each loading zone saves something like 1 second exactly.
Yeah, on the Virtual Console, it actually stumped me during my first run. So basically, how you close your DS is you actually open the Virtual Console menu. I didn't know how we were gonna do that. I'm like, they thought this through, right? Because like I didn't even know if like Nintendo themselves like remembered their own joke. And I think that was the part like in the casually playing through it that most people got stuck. I know I got stuck there for a long time.
Oh yeah. I got so fed up with it. I didn't actually put it down and close it. I actually looked up a video on how to do it, and somebody actually had this potato cam and closed the DS, and I threw my DS across the room at that point. Not actually, I don't condone doing that, but you know.
I remember I used to try taking my pen and putting it on the top of the screen and dragging it down and wondering if that's how you do it, even though the top of it it wasn't touchscreen or anything. But I just kept trying. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I don't actually remember even how I did it because it was a long time ago, like back when this game first came out. Because for Christmas was actually when we got this game.
Yeah, I think it must have been not long after the game came out when I did it first. Game came out in 07s.
And that is the second in case of the boomerang going through walls.
Oh yeah, that one's actually a lot more precise than the first one. Like, it's still not too bad, but it's it can be. So on this floor, also, it's possible to avoid getting seen by those phantom eyes, which are those things making this silly alarm noises. And by doing that, it actually saves more time because it prevents the second phantom from spawning. But it's so hard to do that. I think I've only done it once.
And then those electric keys, they always spawn in the same spot. So you can just draw sort of an N, and it usually will get it every time. Oh yeah, I meant choo-choos, not keys. I can't believe I said keys. Okay, we're almost done with the last part of the Temple of the Ocean. I don't know. So on the red door, you need to draw the Phantom Hourglass. I don't actually know if that's how you're supposed to do it, or if you draw it sort of in threes.
There's actually an order you're supposed to do it. I'm pretty sure, because the tombstones around the room are numbered basically, and so you have to kind of draw it in that order, I think.
Oh really? I did not know that. Alright, so now we're gonna go to, I forget what the island's called. It's, the one on the left side of the southwest.
I'd hope you'd go and get the salvage arm first.
Yeah, I need to get the salvage jump. It's funny because like I'll never talk about it, but I'll immediately always go over there. I'm like, oh yeah, I have to go there. Well, maybe I found a way to skip the sun key, so that'd be cool.
So in the any percent category, what you would do is actually right here, there's like a golden frog. He actually might appear, like right in this little area. And so you would shoot him so that you can use him later. But of course, don't need to do that here.
Also, you can skip that mailbox by just hugging the wall or the fence.
We don't need no mailman here.
Wow, I got it again. So basically what I'm just doing to blow in there is I'm just going like a little bit of a, like I'm not even like actually like blowing hard or anything. But I did that last night and I got the 200 ruby one and now I got the...
Some days I'll just be getting like 200 consistently. And then other days I'll be like, it'll always be either 300 or like 1,000 or whatever. Basically, the way that is supposed to work is, I forget what the dude's name is, Edo or something.
Yeah,
he basically, he wants, in order to sell you the salvage arm, he basically wants you to scream as loud as you can. But of course, because the mic isn't very good, basically you can just blow into it as hard as you can, basically. Actually, I found that blowing as hard as you can makes it worse, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it's really finicky how it works.
Also, the green guys actually appeared, the ones you have to jump over.
Yeah, and Edo can he can sell it to you for, I think 4 different price options, for 200, for 300, 1,000, and 1,600. And then there's also a 5th tier, which is no sale. But yeah, it's...
I actually didn't know about the 16,000 in the no sale ones.
1,600 run is, I remember that one specifically because the first time I tried doing that, it was like, I don't know, midnight or something, and I didn't want to wake people up, and so I was trying to like figure out how to do it, but I didn't realize that you had to like blow into the mic, so I was trying to like tap the mic and it wasn't working. Yeah, also one other thing to mention, right before this salvage sequence, normally there's actually supposed to be a text that sort of tells you basically like, hey, there's nothing here. Oh, hey, maybe the sun key's at the bottom of the ocean. Let's try salvaging for it. But you can actually skip that by just starting to salvage while you're still moving. And yeah, it just kind of bypasses that text. It saves a few seconds.
I actually didn't know that.
Well, you did it, so clearly you...
I just thought it was like faster to do it like that. So.
Well, I mean, it would be faster either way, but yeah. It actually skips some text.
Alright, so there's a boss, or a sort of boss that's coming up. I actually don't know what its name is, but basically, we're going to be drawing a line, and we're going to be trying to shoot its eye, but it's actually kind of weird as to how we're actually going to fight this boss, because we're going to want to stop a lot. So, like, in between him shooting, we're going to stop, go, and it's going to, if we get it right, then it'll look really cool, but if we don't, then we'll just waste the cycle. So there's one.
Yeah, the way this guy works is basically he's programmed to, like, if you're completely stopped when he's when he finishes blowing his or actually I think if the like the thing is set to stop when he finishes blowing his green things, then he'll like do another cycle of green things. But if you're set to go, then he'll not. He'll just
Wow,
advance
that one
to
was
the
weird.
hit phase.
I stopped afterwards because my line was messed up, and he did not give me another cycle. But he did give me another cycle there because I didn't need to go fast. So I have a chance of dying here because of my health. Health is there. It was at least extreme low. I had 1 health left, so we're like on fire.
You'd think the water in the ocean would put that out, but
So basically, this is the only reason we need the sun key. Do you want to talk about the out of bounds chest
sure.
for the sun key?
This is a fun one. So, story time. A number of years ago, an old runner of this game named Greenalink uploaded a video on April Fool's Day called, I don't know what it's called, but it was basically Early Sun Key in Phantom Hourglass. And it ended up using like a hover cheat or whatever, in order, or like a levitation code basically, to get out of bounds in that room that had the sun key door. And for some reason, this was not hacked in. Somewhere out of bounds, just on like on the wall, there is this chest that has a sun key in it. And so for some reason, like I don't know why it's there. It might have been like a dev shortcut or something, but if we could reach that, there's a good chance we could like skip a fair amount of the early game. And it's so ridiculous, and I really wish we could get there. There is a way of getting out of bounds, like right there, but you're just like, there are a few different like layers of ceiling or like of the wall there, and you can only get on like one of the lower layers, and the chest is on the higher layer. But it's like, it's so ridiculous.
If we had like the whirlwind, I think we would probably be able to get over there, but like the one from A Link Between Worlds, the one that
yeah, something like that. But yeah, that's just another really weird thing about this game.
So if any of you guys just so happen to find it, please direct message us as to how to do this.
Please tell us. I don't want to have to be.
We would be more than happy to keep on running. Okay, so basically up ahead, if I get hit and then I walk through the right side of that that little roller spike thing. I don't actually know what those things are, but you can just walk right through the right side of them for some reason if you're damaged. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's little time saving.
The iframes are like you can't get damaged by them, and so it kind of just like phases through you if you're against the wall. These Moldorm things are so... I don't like them.
I don't like them either.
They're much easier with the bow because they it's a one-hit kill with a bow, but even then it's still kind of annoying.
It is even still really annoying.
But yeah, we don't even have the bow right now, so...
But we do get it in this temple. Spoiler alert.
In this very room, actually. Just not yet.
Yeah, actually, yeah, in this room.
Oh, actually, I missed it. Did you grab the potion in Temple Ocean King?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it will save any time in this category because...
No, it's not. It's not for. It doesn't save any time in any percent either. It's just a safety thing.
Oh, then no, we definitely don't. Where am I going?
It's just because there's one room in this dungeon in particular that you can lose a ton of health in because it's this really bad setup with moving platforms and keys, and like you have to move across a bunch of moving platforms, and if you get knocked off, first off you lose a heart, but then you also go back to the last non-moving platform, and It's dumb.
I know exactly what room you're talking about.
You can stun those with the bombs? What?
Yeah, I learned that while I was a kid, and I've been trying. You can also shoot them with the bow, but I
think I knew the
every
bow.
single Zelda game. I was trying to figure out which one it was that you can either throw a bomb or shoot them in the eye, and they'll get stunned. I know Twilight Princess you can do that.
I knew you could hammer those guys as well, but I never thought to use bombs. I mean, in this room, if you are like fast enough with the cycle, I think you can get away with only getting hit like once or twice, but it's a pretty tight cycle.
I just blow them up just so I don't die because the rooms coming up are decently hard if you don't have a lot of lives.
So this room right here is, yeah, there's this big invisible like walkway that's like there's this specific path you need to walk on. Again, it's the same path every single time. You're supposed to find it out from some, I don't know, some picture somewhere else in the dungeon.
Yeah, I usually fail that a lot. Whenever I'm doing like attempts.
Yeah, I've definitely fallen off a few times. Because like those, I don't know what they're called, the shell beetle things. They've knocked me off a few times.
MM does have beamos, I think.
Yeah, MM has statues. Only in Stone Tower, I think.
Yeah.
Well, and
so this bow, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the arrows that it holds. Basically, if any of these arrows go off the screen, they will despawn for some reason. I think that's just to like conserve the how many things are loaded, but I can't say.
yeah, something. Yeah, so it especially is a problem with when you're trying to hit eye switches or something. Like sometimes you'll go to like shoot it and then you'll want to get moving to where you need to go next, so you'll like start moving away, but then the camera will move off and then the arrow will unload. This room is the bad room I was talking about, where you've got moving platforms and keys and lots of death waiting for you.
I'm usually
Hopefully not.
with this room, but I have died once. This room.
Yeah, dying in this room is really bad because you get sent back to the beginning of the dungeon, and unless you had the foresight to open up some of the shortcuts, then it's a long road back.
Yeah, I did not personally do that. So now we're trying to trap this, I don't know, this spinning blade thing. I don't know what that thing is. So we're actually almost done with this dungeon. We don't have too much longer to go. In fact, all the dungeons in this game, except for like the pyramids at towards the end, are actually decently easy and not very long. Well, that's just coming from my experience. Yeah, or a Beyblade.
Was that supposed to be like a water joke? Because the Bay, because that's not how you spell Beyblade. If that was unintentional, then good job.
Okay, so I actually didn't mention, I don't know what those things are, but they're like a rabbit. Basically, those things are really, really hard to beat if you don't know the way to do it, and I'm pretty sure it tells you somewhere in this dungeon. But
Yeah,
basically, if you blow into your microphone, you can just hit them once and they'll instantly die.
Those are poles, by the way.
Poles, yeah.
Making a return from the original Zelda game. Now, this puzzle right here is a little weird. Like, for some reason, you actually have to like draw on your map, and this platform will follow the line that you drew on your map, which I don't know why they did it like that. It's kind of annoying.
It's really annoying. Also, for some reason, my brain decided to tell me to fall off, so I fell off. But thankfully, we got it decently good.
This platform also, like, on the last platform here, like, if you don't draw your line towards the bottom of the platform, like, sometimes the platform you're standing on just gets, like, stuck on the wall, and you can't actually get onto this platform with the boss door on it. I've had that happen before. It's so silly.
I've had that happen before a couple times, too. And I'm sure we're not the only ones.
So
I
this
actually
boss
don't
fight
even-
is...
Yeah,
this
I don't
is
actually know how to
Craig.
count this boss fight, but this boss fight, I'm really bad at the ending part, but I guess we'll see how it goes. And I already missed like every single purpose, so.
Basically, so this is actually a really cool boss. Kind of, it's really hard to do like optimal, or really hard to do casually, because he makes himself invisible, and then the top screen is like Craig's point of view, and so you're supposed to be able to tell where Craig is from that. But fortunately, you can like one cycle him and like shoot him immediately when the fight starts, so it actually makes it a lot nicer. And then the second phase is always completely the same once you've knocked his shell off. You just need to sort of like attack him to make him block, and then run around him, and then hit his tail 3 times each time, and then he's dead.
That was actually a really good fight
Yeah, it was
for
pretty
me.
good.
I don't know the optimal way to do it.
I mean, that's basically the optimal way of it. There's not much to that fight, really.
Alright, so now we're coming up to the end, pretty much. Now we're going to be going to the actual ghost ship. Yeah. The ghost ship is, something else.
My least favorite dungeon as a kid by far, but it's grown on me a lot.
I really like the ghost ship.
Yeah, I like the ghost ship. Boss, not so much, but...
The boss is decently hard, especially with this, because actually how you see the screen, that's actually how I see it too.
Oh, right.
Yep. So mine, it's really hard for me to hit the Cuba Sisters little ball thing.
So right after you beat Courage Temple and you leave you leave Molita Islands, you always get attacked by Jolene here. It actually, if you have the Cyclone Slate, it will not let you warp away until you've actually fought Jolene, because Jolene's really important to the story or something.
I actually
not
didn't
really,
know that
but...
you could walk away.
Yeah, you know, I've tried. Yeah, because Jolene is a bit of a random fight, basically. She can choose when to do her actual attack, where she like lunges at you, and then you can attack her. It's kind of random. And it's also, I think I remember Ben Stevens talking about this actually a long time ago when he was doing runs. The second time you have to fight her, because you have to fight her twice in the any % run. The second time he was like attacking her like down near the bottom of the screen, and I think he like clipped her out of bounds, and she fell into like the void or whatever, and he like soft locks the game, or not soft locked, but like he couldn't progress at that point, so he would have had to save and quit.
Wow, I've never even heard of that. That would be so funny.
Yeah, I think I remember him talking about that. Reminds me of a time also that I lost a run pretty late. It has nothing to do with Jolie, but like I lost a run pretty late in the run one time because actually on the Japanese version of this game, the shovel has this nasty glitch with it where if you dig something up and then while you're in that digging animation you switch items, the game completely crashes. And I was like 2 hours into a run or something, and I don't know, I was like 2 minutes ahead or something, and I crashed, and I wasn't even mad, like, I knew that I had done the inputs wrong. Like, why? Yeah, fortunately the English version doesn't have that, because they changed how the, like, how item stuff works, basically, and you actually can't switch items while you're using them, sort of now, in the English version.
Which is good. So, from what I know of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the ghost ship is usually always in the top right corner of like all this stuff.
Well, he's always in like the top section, like above where the rocks are, but within that area, he can be anywhere, pretty much.
I usually get him with the right side, but yeah, not all the time. And doesn't it like reset if you go too far right, then it'll warp you back to the beginning?
I've never tried.
I got warped back.
The 80% route. The 80% route actually warps up to the north map here, and then comes in from the left or from the right. So yeah, we don't have to go through this rock area, but it definitely could.
Yeah, I lost like over a minute last night to that.
Yeah, so the position of the ghost ship here is completely random. Sometimes he can be like way down in the bottom right, which is like the best luck you can get. But sometimes he'll be in the bottom left or like even top left. It's really annoying. I don't think I've ever seen him in the top right actually, but I mean that's partially potentially because of.
I think I'm going around in circles now.
Yeah, so it's a little hard to sort of tell where he is because the ghost ship is moving while you're trying to search for it, and so like if you like go towards it, it'll start like notifying you, and then it'll move out of the way, and then be like, wait, which way did it go? And
okay, so I found it. It actually wasn't in that circle part. It was more closer to the bottom.
Yeah.
Alright, so basically in this first room you just gotta shoot these 3 ghost things. I don't actually know what they're called either.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then you unlock the first Cuba sister who kind of tells you that she lost her sisters and that she wants us to go find them. And somehow she knows our name. I think that like Tetra may have told her or something like that. But I can't say for sure because I'm not Tetra.
They seem like incredibly trustworthy sisters, don't you think?
Trustworthy sisters?
Yeah, I mean that's.
Hey,
Of course.
Why would they lie to
sisters.
We're the legendary stealth boy. Why would they lie to us?
Guys.
I don't think I do.
I wouldn't call that a new song, but.
Alright, so basically with these Cuba sisters, you're gonna want to watch out for every single spider you can. Otherwise, she'll scream, and then, you have to, like, talk to her and stuff, and if you're on a room with a Reaper, then, they'll get notified. Somehow they scream that loud, but don't tell them. But they're not scared of the ghosts.
Yeah, this part, especially casually, was really annoying because yeah, every spider, they stop. You have to either kill the spider or wait for it to go away, and then you can talk to the Cuba sister to make her like start following you again. And another annoying thing is if you if you walk too fast and have her go off screen, then she'll also stop and you have to go back and talk to her, and it's annoying. These sisters aren't creepy, they're cute and totally trustworthy.
Yeah. So that's a Reaper. Or a Reapling, sorry, not a Reaper.
I actually have no idea. Oh, I guess. Yeah, Reaper.
Oh wow, I went too fast, like really fast there, I guess. If you go too fast, you can actually notify the Reapling that you're here.
Oh yeah, it's really weird how it works, but like I think he like stops at this really weird spot and like turns around a little bit to look there. I don't know. Trying to juke you out or something.
But no worries, we'll shoot him.
So yeah, just like the other guys, Temple of the Ocean King, you can just shoot them in the back to stun them.
Yeah, you can do that with these guys too. And somehow they're also not scared of those guys either, Reaplings. I think I'd be pretty scared of them.
They're just misunderstood. It's come on.
So at first, when I first started doing this game, I thought that those spiders randomly like spawned in different places, but there is actually sort of like a place as to where they all spawn.
They're all completely consistent on. And even if you like move the same, they always spawn at like the same times, and like especially when you're going for the last sister in the last room, like you don't even have to kill like half the spiders in the room.
Yeah,
because they're only, like just the way that they work. They go out off the screen right as you like are walking there with the sister. So pretty nice.
And then you can also memorize this this puzzle too. I almost forgot it there because I usually go to the 5th one instead of the 4th one for some reason. That's just been something that I've done the past 2 rounds, which would be this one and the one that I did last night. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think last time I tried doing a run of this game, I forgot that combination for like a minute.
That's okay. During my my run with like the proof and stuff, I actually forgot the puzzle in back in that the room where you can throw the bombs at the beamos, the one where you have to go pull the 4 switches.
Oh right, that one.
Yeah, I forgot that puzzle, so I had to actually look it up.
That one doesn't. I don't usually forget that one just because like that one is like
The same as
the entire dungeon has that combination. It even tells you that at some point. But yeah, no, I've definitely had the problem of forgetting puzzles because there are a lot of puzzles in this game.
Oh yeah.
Especially later on, like in Muto's Temple, I think it's called the Pyramid Dungeon. There are like a bunch of these tile puzzles, and I've forgotten the solutions to those a lot. I end up just like kind of ad-libbing it, just trying to figure out how to do it mid-run.
It would take me a little bit to memorize those things. Now, I remember when I did 2 any% runs, I remember I had to always look back to make sure that I was doing the strat right, and usually I wasn't. Okay. Basically coming up to the end right here. So we just have to do this fight, and that's pretty much it.
Nice, you didn't have any of the Cupid Sisters scream.
I know, I did that last night too. I think I'm getting more consistent with the ghost ship due to how much smaller it is than the entire game itself.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain these Cuba Sisters?
Okay, yeah.
Try my hardest to...
So the Cupid Sisters is actually the second most random part of the game. So basically, the way it starts is the red Cupid Sister will always fire a shot, or will always fire 2 shots, and you just reflect them once, and she gets hit, she dies, the end. That's the first phase, I guess, is always 100% consistent. The second phase, any of the 3 can start shooting, and then they start rallying it between each other a random number of times, and then sometimes they'll shoot it back at you, and then you hit it back, and then they'll sometimes hit it back, sometimes they'll get hit, sometimes they'll start rallying it again between each other, and it's really dumb because you can hit all 3 of them separately, and they all take 2 hits to kill. And another phase starts when there's only 1 left. So if you can actually get like an extra cycle on this or if like all 3 of them get hit separately.
Which I actually got. I'm gonna have to do another cycle.
It's completely luck based. There's no way to manipulate it. But yeah, it's kind of annoying. And then the reason that it matters is because once you've killed off 2 of them, the 3rd one, regardless of if it's been hit or not, it gets like healed up to 3 hits basically. So it'll take 3 hits to kill, even if you already hit it once. So it's just it's really annoying.
Also, get ready on time, by the way, because we're almost done.
Oh yes.
Yay! Yay!
Also, the third. The last sister that is there, whichever one, will always shoot 3 different attacks. 2 of them will be kind of like if you know A Link to the Past, kind of like Aghanim's blue balls or whatever you want to call them.
I think they're spitballs or something.
And then I don't know. And then the actual attack that you want. And actually, that's another thing that I forgot to mention. The first during the second phase, the sisters can also shoot those blue balls if they want, and there's nothing you can do. So it's just, there's a lot of randomness involved with this fight.
Alright, we're coming up on time, so like, get ready.
Okay.
Because we just need to grab the key and then go through the blue warp, and then that's it. I think we'll beat the estimate.
Easily.
Alright, and time.
Good job.
And that's it! We are actually finishing with a 1:36:02.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
That's a really nice time.
That's technically the world record, too.
Is that that's a PB for you. World record, nice.
Sick! We have our first world record of the marathon. Congratulations, LegendofzeldaLF, on the new...
Unfortunately, I did not actually have my timer going. I accidentally reset it.
I'm pretty sure you can just use the ZSR import for that. So
yeah, that should work.
That should definitely
work. Thank you so much, Hornlets, for becoming a commentator at the last moment, really.
Yeah, I have to give a personal shout out to Hornlets. Horn was actually supposed to do the run originally, couldn't do it due to some stuff coming up, and now he stayed awake all night to actually be able to commentate.
All night.
I stayed awake all night just because if I tried going to sleep, I would probably sleep through. I know how my sleep habits work.
So, chat, give us some love for the dear Hornlets and LegendofzeldaLF, everyone. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you all for having me.
Oh, yeah, thanks for having us. It was fun.